Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In our last class, we had discussed about the Gauss law. Gauss law states that the flux passing through any closed surface will be equal to the charge enclosed by the closed surface. We had derived the mathematical form of Gauss law. Today, we will use that mathematical form and we will discuss about the applications of Gauss's law. To illustrate the application of Gauss's law, let us check the results of Faraday's experiment by placing a point charge q at the origin of a spherical coordinate system as shown in the figure, and by choosing our closed surface as a sphere of radius a. So, to check the results of Faraday's experiment, before moving towards the application of Gauss's law, let us first check the results of Faraday's experiment. So, we have a point charge that is placed at the origin of a spherical coordinate system. So, we have a point charge that is placed at the origin of a spherical coordinate system, and we have chosen a closed surface in the form of a sphere. This is actually a closed surface in the form of a sphere having radius a. This is the radius of the sphere. So, we know that the electric field intensity of a point charge is given by E is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. We had derived this equation in previous chapter by using the Coulomb's law. By using the Coulomb's law, we had found out that the electric field intensity due to a point charge is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square, where AR is the direction of the electric field intensity. It means that this electric field intensity is actually radial. Similarly, we also know that D is equal to epsilon naught E. And from these two equations, we can say that D is equal to Q divided by 4 pi r square into AR. By putting the value of the electric field intensity in this equation, we can find that D is equal to Q divided by 4 pi r square into AR. So, as we have chosen this sphere of radius a, so at the surface of the sphere, the electric flux density at the surface of the sphere, the electric flux density ds will be equal to Q divided by 4 pi a square into AR. Now we have a point charge and we found that the electric flux density at the surface of this sphere due to this point charge is equal to Q divided by 4 pi a square into AR. अब हम क्या करते हैं? अब हम एक डिफरेंशियल एलिमेंट ऑफ सरफेस सेलेक्ट करते हैं इसी स्फीयर के ऊपर. इसी स्फीयर के ऊपर हम एक डिफरेंशियल एलिमेंट सेलेक्ट करते हैं. Now what will be the area of this differential element of surface? What will be the area of ds? As we have chosen a closed sphere and the direction of this differential surface is along AR. So if the direction of this differential surface is along AR, what will be its magnitude? We know that this differential surface is a vector quantity. This differential element is a vector quantity. So what will be the magnitude of this differential surface? So if we have a differential element ds and it is directed along AR and we have the spherical coordinate system. So what will be the other two coordinates? So it will be equal to r square sine theta d theta d phi. This will be the magnitude of this differential surface. As this differential surface is directed along AR, so its magnitude will be equal to r square sine theta d phi. क्योंकि जो बाकी दो कोऑर्डिनेट्स बचते हैं हम उनका मैग्नीट्यूड लेते हैं. So ds will be equal to r square sine theta d phi into AR. So now if we take the dot product ds dot differential surface, if we take the dot product of the electric flux density and the differential surface, so the electric flux density is equal to q divided by 4 pi a square into AR. Dot differential element is r square sine theta d phi into AR. So AR dot AR will result in unity. So ds dot ds will be equal to and this will be also a square. So a square will cancel out with a square. So the result will be q sine theta d phi divided by 4 pi. This is actually ds dot del s. This is actually ds dot del s. Del s. Now if we integrate the whole surface, so as we have the double integration and the integrands are d theta and d phi. D theta ranges from 0 to pi and d phi ranges from 0 to 2 pi. So we will apply the double integral because we have this surface. So let's see further. At the surface of the sphere, ds is equal to q divided by 4 pi a square into AR. The differential element of area on the spherical surface is ds is equal to r square sine theta d phi, and it will be equal to a square sine theta d phi, or ds will be equal to a square sine theta d phi. So ds dot ds, the dot product of the electric flux density and the differential surface, will result in q divided by 4 pi sine theta d phi, leading to the closed surface integral. So the integrands are sine theta and d phi. So d theta ranges from 0 to pi and d phi ranges from 0 to 2 pi. Because first we had taken this differential element, पहले हमने ये differential element लिया था, तो उसका जो result है वो ये आ गया. अब हम क्या करेंगे, अब इसी differential element को हम integrate करेंगे और हम देखेंगे कि ये जो closed surface है ये क्या enclose कर रहा है. So we have to integrate this differential element. So the integrands are d theta and d phi. D theta ranges from 0 to pi and d phi ranges from 0 to pi. तो जब हम लिमिट्स अप्लाई करेंगे, so we know that the integral of sin theta is minus cos theta, और लिमिट्स इस पे अप्लाई कर लेंगे 0 to pi. So it will result in 2. So 2 4 के साथ कैंसिल हो जाएगा और जो d5 है उस पे जब हम लिमिट्स अप्लाई करते हैं so it results in 2 pi. So 2 pi will cancel out with 2 pi and the result will be q. d5 पे जब हम लिमिट्स अप्लाई करते हैं so नॉमिनेटर में हमारे पास 2 phi आएगा. So 2 phi will cancel out with the denominator and the result will be q. So what does it mean? The amount of flux, the total amount of flux that is passing through any closed surface is equal to the amount of charge enclosed by the closed surface. Actually, in our last lecture, we had summed up the results of Faraday's experiment and now we check the Faraday's experiment. Okay, जब एक closed surface से flux pass कर रहा हो तो वो closed surface कोई ना कोई charge enclose करेगा. So as this spherical surface is enclosing q amount of charge, we had taken a point charge of q coulombs. So this surface is enclosing a q amount of charge, so the flux that is passing through this closed surface will be of q coulombs. The flux that is passing through the closed surface is q coulombs. And we obtained a result showing that q coulombs of electric flux are crossing the surface as we should, since the enclosed charge is q coulombs. As the enclosed charge is q coulombs, so q coulombs of electric flux are crossing the closed surface. Now let's move toward the application of Gauss's law. So we will take different charge distributions and we will apply the mathematical form of Gauss's law to that charge distribution by selecting a suitable closed surface, and that closed surface is actually called a Gaussian surface. हम एक particular charge distribution लेंगे और उसी charge distribution को हम Gauss's law apply करेंगे by taking a closed surface, और उसी closed surface को हम Gaussian surface कहते हैं. तो उससे हम electric flux density find out करेंगे. Let us now consider how may we use Gauss's law to determine the electric flux density if the charge distribution is known. It means that अगर charge distribution known हो तो हम Gauss's law apply करके electric flux density किस तरह find out करेंगे. As the unknown quantity is inside the integral, so we have to move it outside the integral. This is an example of integral equation in which the unknown quantity to be determined appears inside the integral. तो हम क्या करेंगे, इसका इजी सोल्यूशन क्या है कि मतलब हम जो इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी है वो किस तरह फाइंड आउट करेंगे कि हम एक ऐसा क्लोज सरफेस सेलेक्ट कर लें जो दो कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई करते हैं. हम एक ऐसा क्लोज सरफेस सेलेक्ट कर लें जो दो कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई करते हैं. पहला कंडीशन के जो इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी है ओवर द सरफेस वो या नॉर्मल हो या टेंजेंशियल. अगर इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी नॉर्मल होगी ओवर द क्लोज सरफेस, so the result of the dot product ds dot ds will be the product of their scalars. It means that ds dot ds is equal to ds cos of theta. Let me show it here. ds dot ds will be equal to ds dot ds will be equal to ds cos of theta. So if the electric flux density, sorry, this is this is the electric flux density. So ds cos of theta. So if the electric flux density over the closed surface is normal, it means that cos of theta will be equal to 0 degree, and the result will be the product of their scalars, ds. Now if the electric flux density over the closed surface is tangential, so this angle will be, this cos of theta will be 90 degree and the result will be 0. Let me repeat it again. जो closed surface हम select करते हैं वो हम इसी तरह select करेंगे कि इसी surface पे जो ds है वो या normal हो या tangential हो. तो अगर ds normal होगा, so the result will be the product of their scalars. और अगर ds tangential हो, so there will be a 90 degree between the surface area and the electric flux density. So if there is 90 degree, so the result will be 0. ds dot ds will be equal to 0. So this is actually the first condition कि जो closed surface हम select करते हैं तो हम इसी तरह select करेंगे कि उसी closed surface के ऊपर जो electric flux density है वो या normal हो या tangential. और दूसरा कंडीशन ये है कि अगर इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी या ये रिजल्ट अगर नॉन जीरो हो, मतलब जीरो ना हो, सो ds must be constant over the surface. ds must be constant. ds must be constant over the surface. दोबारा सुन लें. पहला ये कंडीशन है कि जो क्लोज्ड सरफेस हम सेलेक्ट करते हैं, जो गॉसियन सरफेस हम सेलेक्ट करेंगे, क्योंकि गॉसियन लॉ हम उसी क्लोज्ड सरफेस पे अप्लाई करेंगे, तो जो क्लोज्ड सरफेस हम सेलेक्ट करेंगे तो उसी के ऊपर जो इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी है वो या नॉर्मल हो या टेंजेंशियल. सही. अगर ds नॉर्मल होगा, so the result will be the product of their scalars. अगर ds tangential होगा, so the result of this product will be equal to 0. That means that this result will be 0. दूसरा क्या कंडीशन है कि अगर ये रिजल्ट नॉन जीरो हो, मतलब जीरो ना हो, so ds the electric flux density must be constant over the surface. जो closed surface हम select कर रहे हैं, so electric flux density must be constant over the closed surface. क्योंकि याद रखें कि जब हम गॉसेस लॉ अप्लाई करते हैं तो हम सिमेट्री लाजमी कंसीडर करेंगे. हम ये बात नहीं है कि हम सिमेट्री यूज करेंगे, लेकिन गॉसेस लॉ हम उन प्रॉब्लम्स को अप्लाई करते हैं जहां पे सिमेट्री अवेलेबल हो. अगर किसी प्रॉब्लम में सिमेट्री अवेलेबल नहीं होगी, मतलब जो इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी है अगर वो कांस्टेंट ना हो, तो फिर गॉस लॉ अप्लाई करने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. सो गॉस लॉ हम उन प्रॉब्लम्स को अप्लाई करते हैं जहां पे सिमेट्री अवेलेबल है. So the solution is easy if we are able to choose a closed surface which satisfies two conditions. ds is everywhere either normal or tangential to the closed surface, so that ds dot ds becomes either ds or 0 respectively on that portion of the closed surface for which ds dot ds is not 0. So the ds, the electric flux density must be constant. तो अब हम क्या करते हैं, अब हम दोबारा एक पॉइंट चार्ज लेते हैं और एक क्लोज्ड सरफेस लेते हैं और उसी क्लोज सरफेस को हम गॉसियन सरफेस कहते हैं और उसी गॉसियन सरफेस को हम गॉसेस लॉ अप्लाई करेंगे. सो लेट्स अगेन consider a point charge q at the origin of a spherical coordinate system and decide on a suitable closed surface which will meet the two requirements listed above. हम एक ऐसा surface closed surface select करेंगे जो ऊपर वाले दो रिक्वायरमेंट्स सेटिस्फाई कर रहे हैं. The surface in question is obviously a spherical surface centered at the origin and of radius r. ds is everywhere normal to the surface. ds has the same value at all points on surface. मतलब उसी से जो closed surface हम select कर रहे हैं, जो sphere हम select कर रहे हैं, so obviously ds is everywhere normal to the surface. ds will be normal because we have already derived that the electric flux density is radial due to a point charge. और दूसरी बात यह है कि चूंकि point charge origin पे पड़ा हुआ है, it has some symmetry, so ds has constant values all over the surface. So we have the point charge that is placed at the center of a spherical coordinate system, and we have chosen a closed Gaussian surface of radius r. So according to Gauss's law, we know that q is equal to the closed surface integral of d dot ds. So as ds is normal and it is constant, so ds dot ds will result in ds. It will result in the product of their scalars because there is an angle of 0 degree between the electric flux density and the differential surface. So as ds is constant, so हम इसको इंटीग्रल से बाहर निकाल लेंगे और इसी डिफरेंशियल सरफेस को हम इंटीग्रेट कर लेंगे. So we have a closed sphere and the direction of ds. अब चूंकि ये स्केलर है तो डायरेक्टली स्केलर को हम इंटीग्रेट कर लेंगे. सो व्हाट विल बी इट्स मैग्नीट्यूड r स्क्वायर sin थीटा d थीटा d phi. ये बात ऑलरेडी हमने डिस्कस कर ली है. जब इसको हम इंटीग्रेट कर लेंगे तो इट विल रिजल्ट इन 4 pi r स्क्वायर इनटू ds. सो q इज इक्वल टू 4 pi r स्क्वायर इनटू ds. तो इससे हम इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं एंड हेंस ds विल बी इक्वल टू q डिवाइडेड बाय 4 pi r स्क्वायर. Since r may have any value and since ds is directed radially outward, so by applying the Gauss's law, we derived that the electric flux density due to a point charge is equal to q divided by 4 pi r. And it was really a simple method. So इससे हम इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी भी फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं बिकॉज वी नो दैट D इज इक्वल टू एप्सिलॉन नॉट E. सो इससे हम इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी भी फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं. सो द इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी विल बी इक्वल टू Q डिवाइडेड बाय 4 pi एप्सिलॉन नॉट R स्क्वायर. सो जब हम कूलम लॉ अप्लाई कर रहे थे पॉइंट चार्ज को, सो दैट वाज अ रियली लेंथी प्रोसेस एंड बाय कंसीडरिंग द सिमेट्री, बाय टेकिंग अ क्लोज्ड गॉसियन सरफेस, हमने गॉसेस लॉ अप्लाई कर लिया और दो स्टेप्स में हमने रिजल्ट फाइंड आउट कर लिया. सो गॉसेस लॉ हम उन प्रॉब्लम्स को अप्लाई करते हैं जहां पे सिमेट्री अवेलेबल हो, और जहां पे सिमेट्री अवेलेबल होगी तो गॉसेस लॉ के थ्रू हम बहुत इजीली रिजल्ट्स फाइंड आउट कर सकेंगे. अब हम क्या करते हैं दूसरे केस में कि हम एक लाइन चार्ज लेते हैं, हम एक यूनिफॉर्म लाइन चार्ज लेते हैं. जिस तरह हमने लास्ट चैप्टर में लाइन चार्ज लिया था और उसी लाइन चार्ज को कूलम्स लॉ अप्लाई करके हमने इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी फाइंड आउट की थी. बट दैट वाज एक्चुअली अ रियली डिफिकल्ट प्रोसेस. अब हम गॉसेस लॉ अप्लाई करके इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी और इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी फाइंड आउट करेंगे ड्यू टू अ लाइन चार्ज. As a second example, let us reconsider the uniform line charge distribution having its line charge density rho l lying along the z-axis. वही एक यूनिफॉर्म लाइन चार्ज है extending from minus infinity to plus infinity. We must first obtain a knowledge of the symmetry of the field, and we may consider this knowledge complete when the answers to these two questions are known. जिस तरह हमने कूलम्स लॉ के केस में दो क्वेश्चंस क्लियर किए थे, जिस तरह हमने कूलम्स लॉ के केस में सिमेट्री कंसीडर की थी और प्रॉब्लम कुछ ना कुछ रिलैक्स हो गया था, इजी हो गया था, वही क्वेश्चंस हम यहाँ क्लियर करेंगे. क्योंकि गॉसेस लॉ अप्लाई करने के लिए हमें सिमेट्री रिक्वायर्ड होती है। अगर सिमेट्री नहीं होगी तो हम गॉसेस लॉ अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते। अगर गॉसेस लॉ हम अप्लाई करेंगे भी तो उसका कोई फायदा नहीं। तो वो दो क्वेश्चंस क्या थे कि along which coordinate the field is varying and which components of the electric flux density will be present. So remember that when we were solving the problem of the uniform line charge, the electric flux density or the electric field intensity due to a line charge, we had shown that the electric flux density or the electric field intensity has the radial component only, and that component will vary along the rho coordinate. Now we are considering a cylindrical coordinate system. In a cylindrical coordinate system we have three coordinates, एक rho, phi और z. तो पहले हम ये देखेंगे that along which coordinate the field is varying, along which coordinate the electric flux density is varying. We have a uniform line charge having its line charge density rho L. So we will say that along which coordinate the field is varying. We will check that along which coordinate the field will vary. So along the z coordinate the field is constant. Along the z coordinate the field is constant because the line is uniform. There is a uniform line charge density of rho L. As we have a uniform line charge, so the field is constant over the z axis. The field is constant over the rho axis. If we move along the rho, the field, if we move along the phi, the field will be constant along the phi. मतलब अगर हम phi को change करते हैं, so the field will be constant because the line charge appears the same from every angle. ये बातें already हमने discuss कर ली है, but let me repeat it again that if we move along the phi, so the line charge appears the same, so the field is not varying when we move along the phi. When we fix the z component and the rho component, so the field will not vary along the phi component. Now if we move along the rho component, if we fix the z component, अगर हम z component और phi component को fix करते हैं और हम rho component के along move करते हैं, so the field will vary. So when we move along the rho component, the field will vary. And remember that the field has only the rho component. The field don't have any z component and don't have any phi component. The field has only the rho component because for every positive z we have a negative z. And in order to have the rho component, we must have some other charge to produce the rho component. So the d field or the electric flux density has the rho component and that is a function of rho. It means that the electric flux density has the rho component and that field will vary when we move along the rho component. So now the problem is really simple. We considered the symmetry. तो अब हम क्या करते हैं कि एक Gaussian surface select करते हैं having its length L and it is extending from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to L. We have the uniform line charge. तो इसी लाइन चार्ज की वजह से इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी फाइंड आउट करने के लिए हम एक गॉसियन सरफेस सेलेक्ट करते हैं. हम एक राइट सर्कुलर सिलेंडर सेलेक्ट करते हैं having its length L and that is extending from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to L. और इसी क्लोज्ड गॉसियन सरफेस को हम गॉसेस लॉ अप्लाई करते हैं. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू गॉसेस लॉ, according to Gauss's law, we know that d dot ds, a closed surface integral of the electric flux density will be equal to the total charge enclosed by the closed surface. If we look at the Gaussian surface, अगर इसी Gaussian surface को देखें हम तो इसके तीन surfaces हैं. एक d dot ds, एक हमारे पास टॉप सरफेस है, प्लस एक हमारे पास बॉटम सरफेस है, प्लस एक हमारे पास साइड है. So we have three surfaces. If we look at this Gaussian surface, so we have the top face, we have the bottom face, and we have the side face. But remember that the contribution of d dot ds due to your top face and due to the bottom face is 0, because the d has only the rho component. d का सिर्फ rho component है, d का कोई z component नहीं है, कोई माइनस z component नहीं है, क्योंकि वो एक दूसरे को कैंसिल आउट कर लेते हैं. So the d is constant over the z axis. So this top component and bottom component is actually 0 because d is 0. The d is constant but it is 0. Why? Because the electric flux density has only the rho component. The electric flux density has no z component. It is only the rho component. So the top and bottom integrals will lead to 0. And we will evaluate this integral. Why? Because the d has the rho component. So we will take only the side area, like we have the top area and its direction is along the z coordinate, but we know that dz is 0. So d dot ds will be equal to 0 when we evaluate the top face. Similar is the case with the bottom face. Now if we take the sides, so what is the direction? तो हम क्या करते हैं कि एक differential area लेते हैं and the direction of this differential area is along the arrow. So what will be its magnitude? We have the cylindrical coordinate system, so what will be the magnitude of this differential area? So we have the rho coordinate, we have the phi coordinate, and we have the z coordinate. So if the direction of the area is along the arrow, so हम क्या करेंगे कि जो बाकी दो coordinates हैं वो हम लेंगे. So we will have rho d phi into dz, मतलब the differential length along the z axis and the differential length along the rho axis. So this will be the differential area of this small portion. Now rho d phi dz, and we know that the limits for the d phi are from 0 to 2 pi and dz is from 0 to L. So the result will be d is 2 phi rho L. Rho अपनी जगह, rho is constant, ds is constant. So जब हम d phi को लिमिट अप्लाई कर लेंगे it will result in 2 phi, और dz को जो हम लिमिट अप्लाई कर लेंगे so it will result in L. And we obtain, इससे हम क्या obtain कर लेंगे, q is equal to ds 2 pi rho L. तो इससे हम ds निकाल सकते हैं, ds will be equal to q divided by 2 pi rho L. Now as we have the line charge, so we will have to find the result in terms of the line charge density. क्योंकि हमारे पास लाइन चार्ज है, पॉइंट चार्ज नहीं है, हमारे पास लाइन चार्ज है. So we have to find the result in terms of the line charge density. So in terms of the line charge density, the total charge enclosed by the closed surface, जो हमने closed surface select किया हुआ है, जो हमने Gaussian surface select किया हुआ है, so Q will be equal to rho L into L. The length of the closed surface is L. तो closed surface कितना charge enclose कर रहा है, तो उस length को हम multiply करेंगे line charge density से. So Q will be equal to rho L into L. तो जब Q की जगह हम rho L place कर लेंगे, so L will be cancel out with L and d rho will be equal to rho L divided by 2 pi. So this is actually the result. This is actually the electric flux density due to a line charge, and we know that D is equal to epsilon naught E. So E rho will be equal to rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught, and which is the same result which we had found out by applying the Coulomb's. So this is actually the electric field intensity due to a line charge. हमने सिमेट्री कंसीडर कर ली, हमने एक गॉसियन सरफेस सेलेक्ट कर लिया और वही रिजल्ट हमने बहुत आसानी से फाइंड आउट कर लिया. So जब हम सिमेट्री कंसीडर करते हैं, जब हम एक कांस्टेंट फील्ड लेते हैं, जब हम यूनिफॉर्म चार्ज डेंसिटी लेते हैं, so और उसको फिर हम गॉसेस लॉ अप्लाई करेंगे, so the result will be much simpler. And this is the electric field intensity due to a line charge, which we had found out in our previous chapter by applying the Coulomb's law to a uniform line charge distribution. So by applying the Gauss's law, we found out that the electric flux density due to a uniform line charge is equal to rho L divided by 2 pi, and it is a function of rho. And we found out that the electric field intensity due to a line charge is rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught by applying the Gauss's law. After that, we will discuss about the coaxial cable. हम एक coaxial cable consider करेंगे और उसको हम Gauss's law apply करेंगे in our next class. If you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you.